So I've got about 5 hours into this drive so far. I'm about halfway through Idaho, and it is gorgeous. For a while there was just plains, like just flat as could be. In the far, far distance, you could see like a little silhouette of a mountain. But now we're in this area where the peaks are back. Our elevation is back up to, I think, around 5,500 feet. Just beautiful area. Anytime I see land like this, I just want to soar it. I just want to fly around these amazing mountains and just the changes in the landscape. It's just so gorgeous. I want to be up there. I want to be part of it. Now, unfortunately, we have to wait for ideal conditions, but man, I tell you what, this makes me think more and more about just investing a month, just coming out to this area for a full month and just absorbing it and soaking it all in to experience this area and get to fly in these different environments and, I don't know, really just get to know the state. Well, after a long 8.5-hour drive yesterday, I settled in at this small town, got a pretty good night's rest, and short drive from here to Colton's house. This route, it's off the beaten path. It's not an interstate. 2-lane highway. It's funny, their speed limits are still 65 miles an hour on a 2-lane highway, and these highways don't have a big shoulder. I find that kind of interesting. Beautiful drive though. We got the mountains in the distance. It kind of reminds me a bit of Tennessee with the Smoky Mountains. These are more tree-covered mountains. And then there's been some nice rivers alongside the highway. So this route has kind of brought me up through Montana and then back into Idaho. So it's kind of an interesting jaunt. Beautiful morning though. Be a great morning for flying. The sounds of it, we're gonna have some great weather for the next couple days. So I have a feeling there's gonna be some fun adventure. I feel good about it.
I gotta warm my nose up.
Then the next day, we get up early in the morning, hop on the Trikes, and we fly from one airport to another airport. this is the cool thing. We land at this airport. And we hopped on the trikes and we drove down the road to a restaurant, had some breakfast. Drove further down the road, filled up the trikes with gas, drove back to the airport, took off again, flew into the mountain area, did a cool flight back. We landed at his buddy's house who had like a grass airstrip, and conditions were getting a little bit choppy at that point. It was close to 11 in the morning by then. So we hung out there for a little bit, set wings back up, took off again, and then flew our way back to the airport. By the time we landed, it was almost noon. So we flew from about 7 a.m. until noon with a little break in there to eat and get some gas and talk a little bit. Pretty amazing morning. So we get back to his place and then we start setting up for our Paramotor fly camping adventure. Okay, we're about to do our first fly camping adventure. Colton has done this many times. This is my first time. So we've got our gear all set up. He had a couple extra bags I could use. We got zero wind to work with, so it should be an interesting launch. But beautiful night. We'll capture some footage when we get over there. Fully loaded. I mean, saddlebags on both sides. I'm carrying a duffel bag on my lap. About 10 liters of fuel. I've never had so much weight to try to take off from. At the LZ, which was his grandparents' house, we're at about 2,500 feet. Okay? So I pull out the Spider 26 meter. Now we're working our way to the mountains and we're trying to find a good spot to camp at. The first location we wanted to go to, it didn't look ideal. Colton did a low flyby. Conditions did not look good enough to land. So we tried one more option. If that didn't work, we were going to head down to the river and camp on an island. So we start working our way to this other mountaintop, and it looks really good from a distance because there's a clearing at the top. It looks fairly flat, but of course, as we get closer, there's downed trees, there's lots of rocks. It's definitely not flat. So we decide, let's just do it. You know what? Let's just take a chance. We're just going to land out here. Even though it's totally remote, there are no roads, there are no trails, there's no other way to get to the top of this mountain. So Colton goes in first, an excellent landing. He had a nice headwind, came in nice and smooth, even though it was a little bit of an upslope to make this landing. So now I swoop around. He wanted to get some drone footage, so I swoop around and I come in and land in the exact same spot. Everything went great. We get all of our gear set up. We got our tent set up for the night just as the sun starts to set. We get a campfire going, cook up some hot dogs on the campfire, and just sit and chit-chat for a couple hours. By the time we were ready for bed, it was cooling off quite a bit. There was just a steady breeze, somewhere around 4 or 5 miles an hour. I am off scouting the options for launching this morning. We've got a decent headwind coming toward me right now, and this is our option. You can see the ground is pretty rocky here, so I'm going to try to clear out some of these sticks and bigger rocks and see if we can actually make a spot. Unfortunately, the ground sloped a little bit too, but I don't think we're going to find a perfect opportunity. Now, the struggle with fly camping is if I didn't have all the gear, the added probably 20 some pounds, 30 pounds of weight, it wouldn't be an issue. I'd feel perfectly fine taking off on this slope and even with these obstacles in the way. But with that added weight, you just don't want to make a mistake. So we are out in the middle of nowhere. There is no trails up here, there's no roads up here, so we really have to make this one count when we get off the ground. Can't break a prop, can't damage a wing, do everything perfect. So the pressure of that is kind of cool, and it motivates you to work hard, get it all set up right, everything perfect so that you have a perfect launch. But there's a little bit of stress to the side of what if. So I try not to live my life on the edge of what if though. We both slept decently well. I got a little bit cold because I didn't bring my super big thick sleeping bag. I brought my thinner one because I was trying to keep the weight down. Now I have to say, paracamping to me is, obviously you could camp anywhere. You could fly to a park, you could camp, you could fly to a friend's house, camp in their yard. That's still paracamping. But when you can get on your paramotor and go to a spot that is not accessible by any other type of vehicle, even an ATV, even a dirt bike, to me that is like the epitome of paramotor camping. And I think that's kind of what we all imagine in our head when we think about paracamping, is getting out in the middle of nowhere, landing that machine, camping, firing it up the next day, and we're back in the sky heading home. And that's exactly what this experience was. So now came the challenging part, and that was, how do we get off this mountain? Landing is one thing. You can, spot land somewhere, and we came in nice and easy and we landed just fine. But being at 6,500 feet now, we had to figure out a way to launch with all of our gear and find a place where we had a little bit of headwind. Now, the winds were not ideal. In the beginning, the winds were coming across in an area that it would have been quite sketchy to try to get the wing up and launch off the mountain. So Colten came up with a great idea, and I trusted his judgment since this is his domain. He knows this area well. He said, let's give it a little bit of time. His guess was that as the sun heated up the other side of the mountain, the winds would shift a little bit, and then we would have a wind to take off in a safer direction. It still wasn't ideal. We had no ideal launch options. It was a pretty risky situation to be there, but that's what made it such an amazing adventure. The whole time there's like this nervous excitement and getting ready to set up for launch. I mean, we had two options. There was a tree down the middle. We either go to the left. If the wind kind of shoves us to the left, we're going to go, and that's going to be a drop off the mountain. Or we can stay to the right and have a little bit more running, but there's rocks and boulders and little twigs and things all over. So anyway, we cleared the area the best we could. We both got set up, watched our amazing windsock we created from this giant stick with a piece of toilet paper hanging from it. That is a an excellent idea for any of you who are out somewhere. If you got some toilet paper, throw it up somewhere. That makes a great windsock. So we both sat there watching it, waiting. Winds would shift, back and forth. Then it would die to nothing. It just wasn't ideal. I decided to take off first.
Some decent thrust here. Oh, nice wind now.
Yeah. Here, let me get my phone out so when you're ready I can get a video.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Jeez. This thing leans you forward.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, dang it, now it's shifting again. Give it a second here.
All right, just remember, if it doesn't feel good, don't push it.
You got it.
And make sure you got that wing fully under control before you commit.
Yeah, if you see anything wonky, let me know.
Okay.
But now we got nothing here.
Yeah. All right, it's starting to move a little bit.
All right, I'm going to try it.
All right, video's rolling.
All right, buddy.
Be safe.
Thank you.
You see the, yep. Yeah, just wait.
Oh, geez, that just shifted. Nothing like standing here holding all this weight while we're...
Yeah, right? In the sun.
Yeah, in the sun. That's not too bad there. It's
Yeah.
kind of it goes back and forth.
Yeah. That's pretty good there, but well.
An immediate switch. Well, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to try to point up the hill if I need to.
All right, just high step. Got it. Looking good.
Oh, yeah!
Nice. Good.
Wow. That's a sweet drop off.
Yeah.
All right, let me circle around.
So running, finally off the ground. I made a turn after this tree and I just came over the edge and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So much excitement at that point.
Nice job.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
How are the winds looking?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, take it.
Okay, I'm gonna do a warm up here.
Eye of the tiger, buddy.
All right.
Nice winds, perfect winds.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Beautiful. You got it, buddy. Oh, awesome.
I was going right for that tree for a second. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which way is he going, left or right. Nice job. Oh. I'm going to do one more swoop by toilet paper statue here.
Cool.
It just made that entire adventure worthwhile because we had no issues. We did everything right. We made safe decisions along the way. Even though the situation wasn't ideal, we made the best of what we had and we set up very carefully. We methodically laid our wings out. I checked my lines probably 3 times to make sure there wasn't going to be any snags. We planned it out really well, and just to see how the execution of that plan just worked, and we had this amazing flight back, and this amazing headwind. When we landed, it just was smooth. I was just on cloud 9. Such an awesome experience here in North Idaho. I drove an extra 12 and a half hours up there and then a 12 and a half back. So a 25-hour round trip to come hang out up here for a couple days, and it was worth every minute on the road. Every minute.